Hi, welcome back.
Welcome back to the Unmasking Shame podcast.
Isn't it Unmasking Shame, the podcast?
My bad.
Yeah.
I thought our last podcast you said you call it what you want, or you were referring to something different, and I'm just totally hijacking that and applying it to benefit me.
Welcome to today. This is how we're going to get into things.
Being sarcastic and getting called out and being uncomfortable with that on camera.
Yeah, no, you're right. I want it to be the right name, and also call it what you want.
Unmasking Shame, the podcast. I like it. That is better.
The branding is.
And the branding is awesome.
Yeah, we have a great team.
Well, welcome back.
What are we going to talk about today?
What's the problem?
Centering the actual problem.
And I love that language. That is.
Yeah.
But I want to know what the problem is. And the problem can't be me, Heather. It has to be you. You are the problem.
Generally, that could be true. And I'm very open to taking responsibility in general for being the problem, which is one of my toxic traits. I don't know. Do we call it that anymore?
I've not heard that word in a long time, but yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. What I would say is you do tend to take responsibility and maybe more than you need to.
Yeah. Story of my life.
Yeah.
Working on not doing that.
Yeah, which means the problem might not actually be you more often than not.
Correct. But that means that other people have to take responsibility. And when they don't.
Uh-oh. Watch out.
Then I'm I'll double down.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's really me. It's still really me.
Yeah. So what we're talking about is the centering the actual problem requires getting really honest about what the heck is going on here.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe getting, which is a theme of ours, uncomfortable.
Yep. Why don't people center the correct problem? What happens? What do you notice? Or
ironically, what we talked about last time was how shame is all about me and how I'm bad or whatever, right? And then you end up, you is not necessarily you personally, but whoever is the one person who's going to take up all that shame, they take it all, and then I'm kind of over here feeling light and bubbly, right? Yeah. I don't have to deal. Is usually an indication that I'm the problem. That thing that I'm feeling shame about and me not dealing with it, that's the actual problem. So it could take a lot of different forms. It could be I'm lying to you. It could be I'm going behind your back. It could be in a romantic relationship, I cheated on you and I'm lying about it, and I continue to just put all the work on you to deal. So the problems can be a lot of different things, but I think where it starts is responsibility.
Yeah, well, I think about in some of the workshops we've been doing, and some of we have this funny skit that we do.
Yeah.
And by funny, I mean real life, and everyone goes, "Oh, that's me." Is the as soon as you in the skit, you walk in the door, you are Chuck, and who am I?
Donna.
Donna. Yes,
Chuck and Donna.
Yes, Chuck and Donna. That is us. And Donna immediately is on you, or is on Chuck, saying "Where have you been?"
Yeah, Donna's pissed.
I'm pissed. Donna's pissed. I am Donna. Donna is me. I don't know. But Donna is pissed, saying, "Where are you? Where have you been?" And so often the feedback right away that we get from the participants, specifically the men, because I take them into another room and they're like, "Well, Donna's tone was off.
Donna's the problem.
Donna's the problem. My Donna's tone is the problem." And Donna had a tone with Chuck, so therefore Donna did something wrong.
Yeah.
Not the fact that Chuck is an hour and a half late from his commitment to being home.
And consistently does that over and over and over again.
Yes.
So it's not Donna reacting or responding to one time Chuck showed up late.
But even if Donna did, and even if she did have a hard time with that, and he says, your tone was the problem there. Sure. Of course we want Donna's tone to be nice, and all of us therapists know that okay, communication is multiple things. It is the words you say, the tone you use, and your body language. All of those are true. I don't disagree with that. But if we constantly focus on the communication tactics and not the behavior that she's responding to, we have a problem. We are centering the wrong problem. Yes. You even said, you just tried to make an excuse for Chuck, saying if it was one time. It's no, Chuck, if you said you were going to be home an hour and a half ago, did you communicate with Donna about it? Did you say anything?
So Chuck So what I did was I aligned with Chuck's experience.
Well, you're like, well, just one time. You were
Yeah,
dismissive
I
of
was.
Donna being sad about the fact that, or whatever feeling Donna was having about the fact that you're late. Chuck's late.
Yeah, because I essentially took care of Chuck.
Yes. Come
Not
on,
good.
Chuck, one time. It's not a big deal. Yeah. Maybe not one big, like if Chuck would have been like, you're right, Donna, I am very sorry. But instead it was like, Donna, if you have that tone, I deserve this one.
Yeah, and I'll listen to you when you change your tone.
I will listen to you when you change your tone. Are you kidding? Are you kidding?
I'm feeling some guilt and shame about aligning with Chuck in this moment. I want you to know.
I can tell. And I'm
So
like,
thank you for
oh.
calling me out on that.
Well, I think that's just what's really helpful. And like, of course, as like therapists, I'm like, okay, well, it's only happened one time. It's not that big of a deal. Therapy changed. My style of therapy, or even actually not even my results as a therapist changed when I started centering the correct problem.
Yeah.
When I started figuring out what is the problem. And Chuck's like, I don't need to like say Chuck's not a bad guy. Chuck's not all these things. Chuck's behavior is the problem. Does Chuck want to be the guy that comes an hour and a half late to dinner?
No.
Does he want to be? Chuck gets to decide that.
Yeah.
And if Chuck's like, yeah, I want to be able to come home whenever the fuck I want to. Okay, Chuck.
You got to do what you want.
Now Donna has choices to make if she wants to be in a relationship with someone who comes an hour and a half late.
Yes. You are right. Yeah, it's an interesting how quickly I went there almost to kind of put it on a hierarchy.
Yeah.
How shitty that would feel to Donna.
Well, but like, let's stay on the hierarchy because like you want to put on a hierarchy. Why?
Well, in part, it softens it
But why do you need to soften it?
to protect Chuck.
Oh.
Yeah, because Chuck's fragile. And I think maybe one thing that we tell ourselves, whether you're a therapist, a friend, somebody, we tell ourselves like he might accept it more if it's softer. He might be willing to engage or entertain it if it's softer. But the reality is I essentially took Chuck's assignment as well, which is change your tone, change how you're talking about this. Right? So Chuck got me and I am Chuck as well. So I got myself, which is an absolute mind warp.
Too bad. I wish we could have scripted that. That actually would have been a brilliant script, but this just happened.
This just happened because I went and stood in Chuck's corner.
Well, and the other thing is that I could have let that slide and said, yeah, you're right. One time, no big deal.
Yeah.
I was like, no, Chuck. No. You were an hour and a half late to dinner plans
Which is a big deal.
at your house
Yeah.
that you committed to.
Which means whether it's one time or 100 times, Chuck made a decision not to think about anybody else but himself.
Correct.
That's a wild thing to expect others not to be impacted by.
It is wild.
Yeah.
It is wild to think that actually, I'm going to take a step back. One thing that you and I were talking about the other day, I think it was on Friday, you were doing group with Maria and your wife asked you when you were going to be home. I can't remember the conversation.
Yes.
I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, it's a Maria group. So that means we're going to be probably 10 to 15 minutes over. So that means the timing will be this.
Yep.
So you already gave her information of like, I might already be running late without giving her an exact time, which is so like a thoughtful thing to do. Chuck, on the other hand, would have been like, group went over. What do you expect?
What do you want me to do?
What do you want me to do about it? Maria didn't stop the group.
It's Maria's fault.
Well, all of a sudden, Maria is now in the dance with the two of you. And Maria's like, I did not ask to be a part of this.
Yeah, and conveniently, I could have blamed all the women in my life and not take responsibility.
Yeah.
It's all the women's fault.
Or even like, oh, my boss and I, we played an extra 9 holes. Or, oh, I had this meeting that went late. You know they always go late. You're supposed to remember this. Yeah. And some of those things absolutely could be true, but they're excuses, and you're centering the wrong problem versus I was late. I see I've hurt you.
Yes.
I want to like come back and connect over this rather than have a bunch of defenses that tell you all of the reasons why I couldn't do it. Yeah. I am centering the wrong problem.
Well, and it essentially says, I'm not going to move closer to you. Actually, what I'm going to do is move away from you.
Or require Donna to move to you.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean by that. Is like, I'll move away and then maybe you can come chase after me. And then I might engage in a conversation if you come to my rescue.
Okay. So not only is Donna hurt in this situation because she's been waiting with this warm spaghetti that is now cold for an hour and a half. And That feels like an Eminem song right there that I just kind of leaned into. So, but she now has this meal that she prepared because she thought you were going to be home at a certain time, Chuck. And now on top of it, now she's having to go make Chuck feel better about Chuck doing something that hurt her.
Yeah.
Oh.
How convenient.
How convenient.
How convenient for Chuck.
What a wild thing to do. Look at all of our little one-liners happening.
I love our one-liners. They're my favorite thing. It's like the shared language that our clients have to learn to speak.
And then they use it back at us. It's
fantastic.
fantastic.
They know. Yes. So centering the actual problem is placing the shame where it belongs.
Yeah. And not by shaming the person.
Mm-mm.
Like, the thing that people get really confused about this is that centering the actual problem doesn't mean I'm going to shame Chuck.
Well, it's actually the opposite. Donna is talking about herself.
Yes.
She's communicating about the impact that Chuck's actions had on her.
Mm-hmm.
She's not accusing Chuck of anything. She's like, he was late. Objectively, he's late. That's
Yes.
a statement of fact. And then expressing like, this is impacting me, dude.
Yeah. But here's where the arguments come in of like, if Chuck's to come back at me and say, it's your tone. And now I say, my tone's not the problem, your behavior is. Mm-hmm. That can feel like an attack.
Yes, it can.
And why does it feel like an attack?
Well, I came through the door protecting myself. So anything that moves towards me, I get to project this as an attack onto. And all that does is it affords me the opportunity to, or justifies me in protecting myself, because I need justification. I need that fuel to be able to prioritize myself,
Yes.
which is essentially what Chuck tells Donna when he comes in the door and she's pissed. He says to her, you're not my priority. I'm the priority, and my safety and security is the priority. And right now your tone is a threat to that. So change it.
Yes.
Take care of me first, and then we will take care of you.
Okay. Yes.
That seems like a fun relationship I don't want any part in.
But then there's another version of this where Donna's waiting for Chuck as well. Maybe it doesn't matter. And by waiting, I don't mean like she's sitting by the door, but she's expecting him to come home. And there's a version of this that Chuck comes home. He doesn't say anything, but he does like,
Poor me.
And what does Donna do?
Well, Donna's going to do what she's been trained to do, which is to take care of him.
What's wrong?
What's wrong, honey?
What's wrong?
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Yeah, don't hit me while I'm down.
Yeah. And so that's another version of the problem is all of a sudden something's wrong with Chuck versus Chuck was late. So instead of us talking about Chuck being late, we're talking about how he's so sad and that something bad has happened, even though he's not communicating that with his words, he's loudly describing it, which is one of our weapons of shame that we will talk about in some of the later podcasts. But I was just thinking about all the ways that like Chuck can come into the room in so many different ways. And all of a sudden Donna is having to do all these things to manage the fact that lateness is the problem. And lateness is the problem, not all of these other things.
Yeah, and if that problem doesn't get addressed, it only will get bigger and bigger and bigger, because lateness will become, you don't think about me.
Yeah.
You're choosing to not prioritize this relationship.
Yeah.
Right? So if Chuck is consistent and continues to show up late, that hurt and pain gets worse.
Yes.
And the message that he's sending is even more harmful and nasty, actually, because he's confirming maybe what those initial fears were, which is like, does this dude even think about me? And the reality maybe is no.
Only when it's that you're hurting him. And the thing that's so funny, as I was sitting here, I was like thinking about like, okay, our transition to the next topic. But I'm like, okay, we need to stay on this for a minute because like so many people will hear this and be like, well, I'm not late. I'm never late. I'm always on time. So like this doesn't apply to me. I'm not Chuck at all.
Reminds me of my kids. Like they're so literal. So it's like if you're working with analogies, it rarely works in my favor. And as if anybody knows me, I use analogies all the time.
Yeah.
And I'll use one, and my son will be like, that's not what I said. And I'll be like,
you're right.
You are right, son. That is not what you said.
Not what you said. And so often people take this really literally of like, oh, well, I'm never late, so I never do what Chuck does. But that's not true.
No.
we're using lateness as a way to describe how problems get centered incorrectly.
Yes.
And how the problem all of a sudden becomes from the lateness to Donna's tone, to Donna's reaction, to Donna's not being very forgiving. And Donna is doing these things that are not helpful for their relationship. And if Donna was just a little bit nicer, Chuck would be okay with coming home on time. I don't, it sounds wild. Like when I'm like saying it, I'm like, what am I saying?
Well, it sounds like you're describing a parent-child relationship. That's why it's like, come on, Chuck and Donna. Come on, Chuck.
True. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what you're being mindful of is this isn't a singular story that if you don't do this, if you're never late, you're Gucci, man. You do not weaponize shame. You got no problem. So basically the threshold for a successful relationship is to be on time. That's not what we're saying.
I know. I feel like I had to, like, there's something like itching in me to say this because like so often, like even there was one of our early workshops where someone was like, well, I don't do any of that. So like I didn't do it that way. And the thing about all of this work that we've been building and talking about is like, how do we see this in so many contexts?
Yeah.
And the lateness is such a great example because everybody was like, man, Donna was the problem there. And it's so funny how she becomes the problem. Mm-hmm. And there are so many different ways that the problem gets moved around. And all of a sudden I'm like looking around like, which way is it? Which way's up? Where is this problem?
What I like about that too is, and this is, I think, a part of what I fell into in protecting Chuck. Like, everybody's story may be different. Their version of Donna and Chuck may have a different story to it. That doesn't mean it's any better or worse. It just requires more curiosity and more understanding of the impact, right?
So what you're talking about is that we shouldn't be qualifying how bad something is. Rather, we should be talking about what is.
Yes.
Where is. I like to use like the flashlight analogy around like, okay, like how do I actually shine the light on where the problem really exists versus like looking at the whole context of everything. Of course, context is helpful. Not like ignoring that. But if we first look at context versus looking at the actual problem, we lose sight of change.
Well, it becomes a discussion that has to ascribe value almost to like the individual, right? So if on the scale of how bad this is, if one is, it's a whoopsie, and 10 is really, really bad and nasty, like before I have a conversation, I want to know how bad you think I am.
Okay. Yes. I think I'm following. It took me a minute. I'm here.
You sound like my children right now. Dad, this is not helping me. But then that's not the actual problem, right? Yeah. Donna never once said this is a 10 out of 10 or this is a 1 out of 10. Donna was just saying like, this is impacting me.
Yes.
And now instead of trying to understand Donna, I'm trying to figure out how bad does Donna think I am before I'm going to engage in this conversation. And I might need Donna to affirm me or tell me maybe I need her to kind of shift or move in a little bit of a way so then I'm okay to be able to engage in this conversation. Because I don't think it's that bad. She's kind of overreacting and she's kind of being I don't want to say it, but you know what, right? And Donna's kind of has a tone issue. I was late, but this is really the first time that I was late. Now all we're talking about is Chuck's value.
Yes.
And trying to prop Chuck up because Chuck's feeling down.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have a real life example between something that happened between the two of us.
Uh-oh.
And it was, when was it? Probably almost a week ago now. I came in hot and I was like, I'm getting new office space. Office space. And I'm moving and I'm going to get a new space and here's why and sick of why, blah, 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 blah. And I told you all these things. I was super amped. And you looked at me and you're like, we'll table that. And I was like, why? I want to talk about it now. And I was kind of annoyed with you. And I also respect you. So I'm like, he'll take his time. And I keep on telling you about all these things. And then I do my own work. And then I figure out all of it. And then you come back to it. And you said to me, Heather, I thought we were making some decisions. And it feels like you're pushing me out on the decisions. The centering the correct problem, you thought there was one thing that I was doing. But I was like in my own thing. And I actually was like in my own shit, if you will, my own backpack, if we want to talk about it that way. And so to center the correct problem, you had an experience of centering your experience of what was happening for me. And I also had to do my own work with my business coach and my therapist. So we went heavy lifting this last week, and I had to figure out what was really actually happening for me. I had to center the correct problem versus trying to make it okay with what I did. So then when we had the conversation and you brought it up, I could understand your issue with what happened. And I could also talk to you about the correct problem, actual problem I was having, which was a totally different conversation.
Yeah, and one that allowed and afforded us to get to know each other differently.
Correct.
Without pointing fingers, without saying your fault, my fault, or you're too sensitive, Austin, or you're steamrolling, Heather. Like, that's not what it was.
No.
It was just like, hey, kind of here's what this kind of experience is. Let's go from there.
Correct. So what I think is in healthy dynamics, centering the right problem actually leads to two separate problems.
Yes. Both parties have some work, don't they?
But when it is an unhealthy dynamic, people are always looking for 50-50.
Yes.
And that is not what happens. And this wasn't to say that 50% of this was on me and 50% was on you. There was 100% on each of us for different issues.
Yes. Oh, wholeheartedly.
Right? Two fully different issues, but we both came to the table to talk about it. In the example with Chuck and Donna, the reason it's different is that Donna was saying, this hurt me, essentially. Like, you were late. And we could say, like, she owns 50% of that. But that's not the issue. The issue was that Chuck didn't own up to it.
Yeah, he didn't take any responsibility.
He didn't come to the table and say, you know what, I've been looking at this thing and I've been exploring this.
Yeah, he didn't. And he didn't come to Donna and... because he may not know what he has to explore, but he might be somebody who's done some work and say, I was late and I got to figure out what's going on there for me.
Yeah.
I've got some work to do and I'm committed to that.
Yes.
Which means then I'm the one that's initiating the conversation about it after the fact. And when I get some insight, I'm bringing it and I'm offering it. And I'm getting your perspective, Donna, on how that change or lack of change is impacting you.
But the thing is that me, if I'm Chuck here, so we'll flip roles here. If I come back and say, you know what, Donna, I know I was late. And I also, I'm going to try not to do it anymore. But in the future, can you not have that tone with me? How is that different than what I just talked about, given our own dynamic with the office space?
Well, you essentially just doubled down. You just dressed it up, right? So Chuck just doubled.
Wait. Say that again a little slower.
Chuck just doubled down, but he dressed it up.
Yes.
So this is what I like to call weaponizing therapy, or being the best at therapy speak and all of that jazz. Is we use knowledge as a weapon to wrap our, like, we almost like wrap our dysfunction in knowledge. So it's like a shitty present, but it's got nicer wrapping paper.
Yeah.
It's like, here, I'm going to give you the same thing, but it's wrapped now. So you might have been like, oh, this is kind of nice. And there we go again.
Yep.
Back to my tone.
And then Donna wants things to be okay. So what does Donna say?
You're right. I can do a little bit more work on how I bring things to you. I can see how that would have an impact on you.
The other version is, can't you see how important it is for you to be on time? I just want to spend more time with you.
Ooh.
Right? So
I want you back.
I just want you. So like the ways that Donna, like, she may not even say, I'll check my tone. She'll just say how much I want to spend time with you. And so then it turns into this thing of like, okay, I'll do it if that means I can spend time with you, because what we're talking about is jeopardizing relationships, jeopardizing time together, and the sense and security of being in relationship. Donna doesn't want to like lose Chuck. Donna is staying and working on this relationship because she wants it to be better. And so unfortunately, Chuck is exploiting that.
Big time. Which also means Chuck has all the power. And when I think about centering the actual problem, put it really simply, there is a power differential in the relationship that is unsustainable, and it really props one person up and one person down.
And why is that a problem?
Well, I don't know about you, Heather. I do not desire to be a king in my relationship.
Well, some people disagree with you on that one, but yes.
So,
not you personally.
That's okay.
There's some
I know
people
what you
that-
were saying. Yeah. I don't find that to be particularly fruitful. I also don't want to pass that down to my kids.
Okay.
I don't want them to turn out to be kings and queens and rule over people, but to be in relationship with people. Relationship, which you cannot be in relationship as a king. You need servants.
You cannot be in relationship if you're king.
Well, everyone is in service of the king and submits to the king. Yeah. They might vein relationships or veil relationships with you, but they are submitted to you.
Ooh, yeah, that one. That is... I'm like having a reaction to that because that's like... I hate that so much. But like as women... we are taught a lot of ways in which to be, like, I was taught to be a strong, like, I was taught you can be whatever you want to be, whoever you want to be, do whatever you want. But then there were rules that I had to follow that had a lot of submission to them.
Yeah. And I think, well, you've shared a little bit about yourself of just like not wanting to making yourself small. Mm-hmm. You're not saying I want to make myself bigger.
No.
It's like, God forbid, you're just like, your shape and size and like take up some normal amount of space in a room. Yeah. Like you're not saying I got to make myself this huge persona and personality. What you're saying is like, I learned to make myself small.
Yeah. But sometimes making myself small meant that I might be the one that's performing in the room though.
Oh yeah.
Because performing in the room actually takes away from all the dysfunction that's happening. Mm-hmm. So I make myself small in the way of actually like distracting too. I'm such a good storyteller because I've gotten so good at being able to like distract the room from other things.
What a like good story. That's like one of my biggest envies of you and other people is like
your wife is a good storyteller.
My wife is a good storyteller.
She's such a good storyteller.
I know I'm not like the cream of the crop.
We're working on it. We're by the end of this podcast.
I need a lot of help. I need my own workshop on how to tell a story. I'm just not that good at it. Mm. But if I was good at it, how hard to celebrate that gift if you knew the cost that it came at. Mm-hmm. Of like, I got good at this, not because I was taught and it was like this beautiful gift that was passed down. It was like, I was good at it to survive.
Yeah. All right. Good thing I'm seeing my therapist on Friday.
I was like, oh, what a bummer.
Yeah.
Like, what a bummer. Uh-huh. Like, to have a gift like that, but to know what it, like, the cost that it had.
Well, and then this, like, storytelling and performing was, like, one way to get praise as well and feel connected and, like, felt like I could take up some space. Mm-hmm. But so quickly it felt so small.
Yeah, and it just over and over and over and over again, it's just not sustaining.
Mm-hmm. Well, because I'm a chameleon, or I have been a chameleon. Mm-hmm. I can incorporate. I can go into any. I'm just saying a bunch of things right now because it's all coming out, which is I can be in any situation. Mm-hmm. I'm very good at it. Mm-hmm. Which is a lovely gift. As a therapist, it has helped me so much because I can adapt really quickly to around me, to the language, to all of that, which means that I can switch out of myself so quickly. Yeah. And the thing about switching out of myself so quickly means I can lose myself really easily in situations. And so if we go back to centering the correct problem, I've had to learn how to center the problem so that when I do move, I don't lose me.
So you've turned something that used to be really problematic for you into a superpower.
For the most part. Okay. I mean.
Yeah, we're not here to toot our own horns, but like what you're describing is there is, like when we center the actual problem, when we center the correct problem, the right problem, whatever you want to call it, as uncomfortable as that can be on the front end, it doesn't mean you get rid of some of these things that have like you maybe really enjoyed, like the storytelling, or like you get almost like you get to have agency over them now and choose when they show up rather than being put on assignment to take care of the whole room so everybody's happy and nobody's awkward.
Well, and part of this is like I've learned how to be a good storyteller because I'm really good at watching how someone responds. I'm really good at seeing like, okay, like how is it that you're responding to all of this? Because that used to be the problem. The problem for me is like, oh, you're not engaged. I can make you engaged.
I can help you.
Oh,
Okay.
God. Ugh, I know. Right? I can fix this. I can make this better. I feel like we're in the weeds now, but that's just part of talking to the two of us about anything.
Yeah, and I think, yeah, I love getting into the weeds, so whatever. There's two other aspects to this centering the actual problem when I think about how shame is weaponized. So power is a significant one that a lot of people just avoid talking about. But if we go back to Chuck and Donna, like when the problem isn't centered, it gets put onto something else, right?
Yeah.
So now the attention is off of Chuck because Donna's tone. So now the tone is the problem. So now Chuck doesn't have any attention on him.
Yes.
How lucky for Chuck.
Yeah, and then Donna gets all of the emotional load.
All of it.
All of it. She gets to take care of all of the emotional load and figure out all of this. Now I'm getting weird about where the mic is. Okay, I'm going to fix this.
You feel better?
I don't know. Okay, I think so.
Good.
It looks weird in the mic or the camera. I might have to cut this out.
We can.
Okay.
I go. Whatever.
Better.
So Donna's carrying the emotional load now.
Okay, yes, emotional load. Back to that.
Yeah.
Give myself a second here. The emotional load that she carries. Why is that a problem?
Well, this goes back to what you were talking about earlier, which is like she's taking 100% responsibility for something that she didn't do.
But isn't she like unrealistic for wanting him to come home?
That's a wild thing to say. Isn't she being unrealistic? So essentially what you're asking Chuck and Donna and everybody is, isn't Donna being unrealistic to expect that her husband is home when he said he was going to be home? Is that what you just asked me?
I am just saying what I hear all of the time.
So Chuck says, I'll be home at 5, right? So he sets an expectation. And then when he shows up home at 6:30 without any prompting or communication, we are led to believe that Donna is unrealistic.
Unrealistic. Donna's expectations are too much.
That math ain't mathin' in my head.
But he works so hard.
To be late? That he's entitled to be able to do what he wants when he wants?
Well, I mean...
Did Donna sign that contract?
He did help with the kids earlier.
Okay, now you're going to activate me.
Is it working?
Yes. No, I'm getting pissed.
Right? But these are all of the excuses we hear all the time. It's like, well, I did the dishes earlier, or I did this thing, or all of this is happening. Or
So Chuck needs a medal for doing the base level of expectations of a husband and a father. Like it's not enough for him to just stay married. He needs a medal to attune to his children that he chose to participate in creating and having. Participate in keeping a home in whatever tidiness is agreed upon, but to maintain the space in which they live in. So to do the dishes and to pay attention to his kids, he needs a medal.
Well, you're getting into something really important here. So yes, you were right. He needs a medal. But do you want to know what happens so often in therapy?
Tell me.
Couples are asked to write down all of the things they each do to see if the load is distributed evenly.
I bet that's a pleasant experience.
Because it becomes so normal. It's like, well, what chores do you have to do? Like, I remember early on that was feedback I was given from a supervisor to make a list of what each of them were doing to see if it was really unfair or not. What? I wish I could go back in time and go back to that couple and say, oh my God, I am so sorry what I did there. Because I missed it. I missed an opportunity. And I was going under this assumption that like, oh no, we just need to make things fair. And really, I didn't understand that fairness has nothing to do with it. It's really about centering the correct problem is fair.
Yeah. Well, I'm so activated right now.
I didn't prepare you for where I was going to go in my head.
No, as you were talking, I checked out a little bit, but where I went was like
out a little bit. Where did you go?
So I'm thinking about my wife right now. So like what we're doing, we are recording a podcast in my office talking about something we are both passionate about and love. Like, I'm having fun. Within the time we started this podcast and ended this podcast, I would imagine my wife has more than likely dealt with no less than 2 significant meltdowns. Probably been told something about her by our children that's not the most pleasant thing to hear. It's highly likely she's dealing with somebody who maybe had an accident. So not just diaper doo-doo, but like a kid who knows how to use the toilet and having to navigate that. I do know she's taking 3 kids swimming who do not know how to swim, which means she's responsible for, at a different level, of keeping some people alive, like literally responsible for their survival. But yes, let's make a list at who does what.
I'm not saying that I agree with this. I'm telling you this is what this looks like.
Oh, I know.
And how people get this so wrong. And the reason is that they try to protect people from shame.
Yeah.
Rather than centering the correct problem, they try to avoid and tiptoe around shame because it's so uncomfortable. It's so uncomfortable for some people. Like, I don't have an issue with this anymore. Well, I shouldn't say anymore, but like, I don't, in the therapy space, I would never probably jump over the fact of like, Chuck, you're asking for her tone to change. Like, of course that is the problem of your behavior, not her tone.
Yeah.
Like, but people get uncomfortable with saying that. They get uncomfortable and they will lean in to be like, well, Chuck kind of has a point.
It's wild to me how much we will work to protect that which needs exposure.
Mm-hmm. Because it's uncomfortable.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Which kind of leads me to think, like, where did we get off thinking like life was just comfy cozy? Like, what is it? What's so intolerable about the discomfort that we create in our own life? Like, if I show up late, I created the problem by showing up late and making a decision to do that. Isn't discomfort a natural response to making a mistake that harms people?
Oh, now we're getting into entitlement.
Yes.
And the thing is that we do live in a system where entitlement rules in a lot of ways. And entitlement shows up in some pretty icky places. And I'm going big right now. And
yeah.
I know you're like, Heather, come back to...
Oh, no, I love talking about entitlement.
But like, entitlement is this thing of like, well, I get to because I deserve, because I did this, so therefore I get. And if you want to operate in that kind of system, there are pretty harsh consequences for that and extreme loneliness. So if we want to talk about how loneliness is actually a problem, and like all of these people who are extremely lonely, is that we have a lot of entitlement happening, that you think you deserve something just by whatever.
Interesting. That word entitlement, I think, is one word that I use with clients that gets probably the most, if not the most, pushback.
Yes. I'm not entitled, Heather.
I don't deserve it. I'm not saying I deserve anything. You sure act like it. You sure make a... It's like my kids when they don't get what they want. That's kind of what it is. That experience of like the kicking, the screaming, the whining, the can you believe this, you know what, complaining.
Well, that's why I like to use, instead of like you think you deserve it, well, you sure make it everybody else's problem.
Love
you
that.
Sure make it everyone else's problem.
Yeah. So in order to center the actual problem, what you're also saying is we have to veer into that swamp, the muck, the discomfort, the uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. And we have to talk about things like power, emotional load, entitlement.
And how you get attention.
Oof.
Mm-hmm. I mean, those are the covert and overt. But yes. I think some of these things, these covert ways, these ways that aren't as obvious of how they show up in relationships, those are the things that we really want to help explore, unpack, and really talk about. And our experiences are showing these on our conversations on a daily basis about it.
Before we end, can we talk a little bit about why we don't go into that backpack first? Because I could, like, as we talk about this, I know you and I are in alignment on this, but what I often hear is like, well, you have no idea what happened to me. You have no idea where I come from.
Mm-hmm.
This XYZ happened to me. This person did this to me. Maybe mom and dad treated me this way, or maybe I was neglected. Why, like, can't you understand me through the lens of my past and what's happened to me?
Well, maybe I see this differently than you do.
Okay.
And maybe we do it a little bit different, which is fine because I think we both get really good results. But like, I can do the backpack work as long as you can stay accountable in the present.
Yeah, most people can't, though.
So if you can't, then we're working on how to stay accountable in the
Okay.
present and accountable into the moment. And accountability is this like, it's old school, like 12-step sort of AA, different things that people get a little bit weird about. But I have found that accountability in relationships is the most healing thing that you can do. When people are accountable to the truth, accountable to the problem, accountable to the relationship, change can really happen. And so we can access the backpack.
Yeah.
We can access it. But if you aren't able to stay present and accountable in the moment, we're just like doing like fluffy work. I don't, maybe
Well,
that's not the right way, but
where I go with that is like, if I can't maintain accountability in the present, if I'm looking back, it is essentially serving the function of keeping me entitled.
Yeah.
Justifying what I'm doing, excusing what I'm doing,
Yeah.
rationalize what I'm doing, minimizing what I'm doing.
yeah.
It gives it a little bit of a buffer. Like,
Yeah.
I did this bad thing, but look over back here, you know where I come from.
Well, it's similar. I'm opening up another thing, which you're like, let's wind down. And I'm like, I got 7 more things to talk about. But like people who get into relationships or even are in relationships that will be like, you know what I've been through. Don't you dare do this thing to me. And will take their baggage, if you will, or their backpack and slap the other person with it and say, you can't do this because of what's happened to me. Now, I have a story coming into a dynamic in a relationship doing business with someone. I have my own backpack with this. Now, there are times that backpack has been opened up and I've let you know about it,
Yeah.
but never have I hit you with it
No.
and said, Austin, don't treat me like this because of how I was treated in the past. Instead, I have done enough work on myself to say, here's what's in my backpack. I can be accountable to that and also stay connected because I've worked on it rather than hit you with it.
Yeah, so we don't, in order to stay in the present, we don't have to neglect the past. And in
No.
order to access the past, we don't have to neglect the present.
Okay, I'm going to ask you to say that again. Because that is brilliant.
Oh, I'm going to have to replay it so I can
No,
repeat
you
it.
got this, you
So
got
in order to stay in the present, I don't have to neglect the past. And in order to access the past, I don't have to neglect the present.
Yes, I love that.
Write that down.
That is
Let's
brilliant.
print it.
I think that needs to be because that's so true. I think so often like we will be in one place or the other, but if I even think about how trauma work happens, is I have to have a dual awareness. I have to stay present in the moment and access the past. And to do present-oriented work around my backpack or my past hurt, I have to stay present in the moment while also having hope for my future. And so like all of those things that you just said are about being able to access different points, but all of them have to do with present in the moment.
I love it.
All of them have to do with being present in the moment. Okay?
I think we stopped there.
Do we want to leave them with anything or is this it?
I liked where we left it last time is what's one thing we want them to think about. And there's something to this past and present that feels particularly important.
Well, my thing is I want to leave you with like what problems haven't you been accountable to? What problems in the past has it been difficult for you to be accountable to?
Mine is in what ways or what are you entitled to from your spouse that you haven't asked for?
Oh, so we're talking both the entitled partners right now. So we need something for the non-entitled partner.
Ooh, yeah.
Because
Yes.
we both went to the
We went
entitled
there.
purse. Because do you know what's going to happen is the partner that I just like I can imagine so many of my female clients being like, oh my God, what are all the problems I haven't been accountable for? And that is not what I was
No.
just talking about. So
No.
all of you with your pens, put them down or maybe pick them back up and let's take this.
Yeah.
What problems have you taken responsibility for
Yes.
that aren't yours? So
Yes,
we have
that is it.
twofold here. When shame is weaponized at you or when the problem is not centered in the correct way, what problems have you taken on that aren't yours?
Love that.
Okay.
That's where we end.
We have to be done there.
Agreed. Thank you for joining us.
See you next time.